finish up a little bit of the makeup and we'll be ready to film. Just a little bit like that. Blend this a little bit more, a little bit down here. Okay. I'm putting this palette in my underwear drawer just for the time being. Hello. Do you like it? Yeah, I definitely have like setting spray muscle memory. That was pretty boneheaded of me. Okay. Let's talk about products. I'm getting back on the horse. I've got the horses in the back. The horse tack is attached. Let's talk about this lip gloss from Glamlight. Glamlight is a brand that you might get the impression of from the way I've talked about them in the past that I don't like, which is not the case at all. I've never tried anything from Glamlight. Glamlight, if you're not familiar, is the brand quite well known for food-themed eyeshadow palettes. They do have other palettes aside from the food palettes, but by far, things like the burger palette, the taco palette, and the pizza palette have definitely claimed sort of cultural awareness of their brand in the past year or so. I'm not a big person for food packaging. To be quite honest with you, I do think it looks the tiniest bit tacky, but every single review I watched of the Glamlight burger palette, and I did watch a fair bit of them, had me looking at the palette just like, damn, pigmentation be like, you know? However, the way that I organize my makeup is sitting upright on a windowsill in front of my desk, and this palette is completely round, so that doesn't really work for me. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. We are going to discuss the new Tequila lip gloss that Glamlight is launching. It's a clear lip gloss. If you're new to my channel, I love lip gloss. Specifically, I love clear lip gloss. It's one of my favorite substances. And I believe it was Looks by LORDT, who, even if it wasn't, I'm still gonna link her Instagram down below because she's very talented. She has real cute makeup. She's adorable. I think she DM'd me about this. If it wasn't her, it was someone else. I actually would be interested in this, if not for a couple of things. It doesn't smell like tequila or anything, I don't think, which is a little weird to me. Like, what about this is tequila themed whatsoever besides the unit carton, you know? And this photo that has it next to limes and a green background and, you know, salt and Patron. It's literally just a tube of clear lip gloss that says Glamlight on it. Is it just like tequila is also clear? Which, believe me, I know that pretty well. I was at a family party where I didn't know that many people earlier today, but I did know Mr. Tequila. God, do I work for Tarte? So like, it's tequila o'clock. Doesn't seem to, this is so stupid. Why am I, this is like, no one cares. It's just a lip gloss. Now, before we get too far into this, I'm gonna have to address Juvia's place, aren't I? I will, and I'll do it by using my most syrupy, podcasty, Karen Kilgariffy voice. Juvia's Place's CEO Chi was wildin' on Twitter the other night, absolutely popping off at the mouth about Jackie Aina, of all people, even though I'm pretty sure it was Alyssa Ashley who first sort of chatted about how she had been treated not the best by Juvia's Place in the past. And while Jackie did co-sign that, it was really Alyssa who threw the gauntlet down. Jeffree Star of Jeffree Star Cosmetics reviewed, I think, the Juvia's Place foundation. Juvia's Place made a post about him on their Instagram, and people were, you know, understandably upset about Juvia's Place kind of cozying up to this influencer who has not only a history with racism, but a history with racism specifically directed at Jackie Aina, who has bad blood with Juvia's Place. So are we on the same page a little bit? Chi, who is the CEO of Juvia's Place, got on Twitter and was saying how Jackie Aina isn't pro-black, or is not as pro-black as she says she is. She isn't the voice of the black community for a number of reasons that Chi did not hesitate to outline for us. One of them was that Jackie did not publicly condemn or comment on Jared Blandino, who is the creative director of Too Faced, which is a brand Jackie has a very close relationship with, because I think it was last year, he was at a party and someone brought a cake to that party that said in frosting on it, "Rich Lives Matter," which is just a big yikes. Jared posted a festive little picture with the cake on Instagram and people were quick to be like, "This ain't it, King." And he was like, "Sorry." And Chi was mad because Jackie Aina, who, as I said, is pretty buddy-buddy with Too Faced. She did work with them to expand the shade range of the beloved Born This Way foundation. Did not publicly condemn Jared for that. According to my sources, which is just my group chat when I asked if Jackie had commented on that situation, because fun fact, Jackie Aina does in fact have me blocked on Twitter, but I blocked her first because of the petty page situation, and I didn't know about the mute function at the time. I am not at all mad at Jackie for blocking me. I would have done the same thing, and in fact have. I have definitely logged onto Twitter and found that some complete rando had me blocked that I'd never interacted with before, and you just block them back. It just makes sense. So no bad feels here. But I asked my friends, like, hey, did Jackie ever comment on that? And they were like, apparently she said something along the lines of like, stop asking me to comment on this. You don't know what I'm saying and doing in private. So I'm assuming Jackie absolutely lit Jared the hell up for that cake mishap. Chi Chi is mad that nothing ever happened publicly. She also accused Jackie of defrauding people with a fake GoFundMe, which I think is something that happened in like 2013. She of course brought up the situation with Petty Page, in which Jackie Aina publicly accused Paige of hacking into her bank account and stealing about $1,000 from her with absolutely no evidence other than her personal dislike of Paige. Probably the most inflammatory of Chi Chi's accusations is that Jackie slept with a married man. That's a big yikes, homie. Obviously, people were coming at Chi Chi for a whole bunch of reasons. Number one, how does any of that have to do with Jackie being pro-black, specifically the married man thing? Two, that's probably not even true, and if it is, that's not your dirty laundry to air, sis. Three, that doesn't excuse you cozying up to Jeffree Star. Four, Jackie Aina has done a lot for the black community, specifically on YouTube and in the beauty sphere. In addition to being like a general inspiration for people, being a darker skinned woman dominating the beauty industry on YouTube. Like I said, she worked with Too Faced to expand the range of the Born This Way foundation. I'm pretty sure she bought a camera for Too Much Mouth. She has flown out smaller beauty influencers, black beauty influencers for things. She has definitely shown time and time again that she is in fact here for other black influencers in her field. I don't know what exactly else you want people to do. You can definitely have your issues with Jackie Aina. Let's not lob baseless accusations at people. My name is Chi Chi Juvia's Place, and I have something to say. And I have seen time and time again CEOs of small beauty companies completely shooting themselves in the foot because their emotions got the better of them. Lashes by Lena, Lashify, Juvia's Place, Z Palette. Just pop off at the mouth and make people not want to buy from them anymore. I saw dozens of people on Instagram and Twitter be like, I'm not going to be supporting Juvia's Place anymore. Chi Chi deleted her Twitter, reinstated it, and talked about how she hadn't slept in, she said 84 hours. Some people think she just typoed 48. She was having a mental breakdown, which is very upsetting. Obviously, she's going through a rough bit of time because prior to this outburst, Juvia's Place's official accounts were tweeting like, hey guys, can we please like leave the drama behind and keep going? Like, please, can we stop? Like, it was already looking a bit spicy before Chi Chi decided to go on her own Twitter. Here's how I feel about the whole thing. Is Juvia's Place canceled? First of all, the answer is no, because nothing is. You can buy whatever you want. People acting like cancel culture is something that like is a hard and fast law irks me so much. You can do whatever you want to do. It's your money, it's your life. I, to be honest, haven't been interested in buying something from Juvia's Place for the past several months, mostly because I don't love the color combinations their palettes come out with, and I also don't love eyeshadow palettes with huge pans of eyeshadow. They just are like kind of daunting. I do have a blush from Juvia's Place that I quite love. It's not a brand that I'm really checking for. So like, I'm probably going to continue not really buying much from Juvia's Place, but what about you? Buy whatever you want to buy. If you don't feel comfortable supporting the brand anymore, that's fine. If you're on the opposite end of that spectrum and you're like, I don't care what Chi Chi says, I don't really care about what she's tweeting, those eyeshadows are the God's honest truth, and that foundation is my perfect match. That's perfectly valid as well. I think sometimes a lot of people think about boycotting a brand and canceling a brand the same way that like I might have to think about boycotting a brand. The reason there's a differentiation there, like I'm in a lot of ways a regular consumer of makeup, but I also have a YouTube channel on which I talk about makeup. If I want to use a controversial brand, if I want to use Kat Von D, for example, I have to be prepared for people to have an opinion about that because I am putting my opinions about makeup makeup on the internet. I have to allow that. You know, if I didn't want to allow that, I wouldn't be able to make videos. You or anybody who does not have the general public within their makeup room, within their beauty bag, if you will, you don't have to think about that much. You can go to a Sephora, buy 18 Kat Von D lipsticks and sit at your desk the next day at work and apply all of them. And Stacy in the next cubicle is not gonna be like,
wow, Catherine, Kat Von D, I'm telling the head of HR that you're canceled.
do I think that this situation was a little yikesy? Yup. I was definitely looking at it going, snap, this one's going in my cringe compilation. Do I think this is going to be a death blow to the brand? No way. This is just a mini take. Wet n Wild is confusingly releasing a product called Snow Melt in the middle of summer. Is this only releasing in the Southern Hemisphere? A liquid lipstick in white packaging called Snow Melt in June? I'm not getting like seasonal appropriateness. You're not giving me Gregorian calendar realness. I just... Kimberly Kardashian West of KKW beauty fame and nothing else is coming out with body makeup, and I actually think that makes a crap ton of sense. If there's one thing we know about Kim Kardashian, it's that every single inch of her half Armenian body is made up to some degree at any given time. For her, pushing back the veil a little bit on what makes her look so like camera ready at all times is really smart, because a lot of people I know would pay a lot of money to look exactly like Kim Kardashian in every inch of their body. Fortunately for me, because I am also half Armenian myself, I already look like Kim Kardashian all the time because that's how that works. So obviously I don't need to buy this, but I think it's good for you poor unfortunate souls out there. So good luck. There's a lot of different opinions on this product.
I also have psoriasis and scars and varicose veins and other sort of imperfections on my legs and arms and wherever that I would love to cover with makeup. Oh, what? Makeup for our legs now? What's next? Makeup for our tongues? Our gallbladders? This is ridiculous.
I get both sides of that. If I were interested in buying from KKW Beauty, and if I had an extra $45 to chuck at body makeup, I actually think I would like this. My body skin is so scarred. Like everything below here is just like a pizza that's been left out for 48 hours. In hell. I don't want to get this. But I don't think it's something that we can like universally condemn just because it's something from Kim Kardashian. I definitely know that there are people that this would be a great product for. Oh, and while we're on the subject of Kim Kardashian...
Now, we don't have time to unpack all of that.
Let's talk about Keyshia Ka'oir's makeup line once again. She's putting out a highlighter palette. Keyshia, baby girl, bring it in. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Keyshia. You know, I stood up for Keyshia when she released her eyeshadow palette a bunch of months ago. People were roasting the hell out of her for poor use of space and this hard to store K. I was like, it's not hard to store. It's still flat on the bottom and flat on the sides. It's gonna be fine. You know, it might be a little goofy and might be a little unnecessarily expensive because it has to be a custom cut K, but it's not an issue. This is an issue. This is not how you use space, Keyshia. Miss Keyshia. This is 6 highlighters and it's pretty. It's cool shades. I think it's very personal color friendly. I like these shades a lot. I also like how visibly glittery they are. I do like a sparkle highlighter. I like to glitz and gleam. But this space, and how much are you? This is $49. You know it's only $49 because they got to custom cut that K. With the eyeshadow palette, at least all of the space in the custom cut K was being used. Keyshia, hello. It is nearly a week later. I need to get better at editing things entirely right after I film them. I'm really bad at it because I'm an absolute control freak when it comes to my videos, and all of my editing is very complex and labor intensive, and I cut a ton of stuff out because I'm super verbose. My makeup looks really bad. I'm having one of those days where my hands just don't really know what to do. I have redone my makeup a couple times before settling on this because I was just tired of taking it off. Yes, I had a yerba mate before I sat down to film. Why do you ask? What the oh my god. Oh my god, what? How long has that been happening? What the Right, let's continue. On this eye, I am wearing the matte shade from the Midas Cosmetics Honeycomb palette. On this eye, I am wearing a yellow single eyeshadow from none other than ColourPop Cosmetics. Necessarily decide which palette I liked better based on formula of other shadows from those brands in a similar colors that I already had. I had to do it based on color selection, which of course I wasn't able to do before I had full, perfect, complete pictures of each palette, but I have that now because of technology, so let's talk about them. I like the Midas Cosmetics palette better because it has a better selection of matte, bright yellows. Namely, these 4 over here that look almost exactly the same. They look similar, but I can tell that they are different, and I like that because I have not in the past had a great amount of luck working with matte yellow shadows that are different tones of yellow. These shades of yellow are similar enough that you have something closer to an actual gradient. One of the reasons I don't like the ColourPop one as much is because I think it has too many shades of matte yellow that are gonna be kind of awkward to use together. In the Honey palette, we have 5 matte shades, but one of them, this one down here, is a brown, so it doesn't really count. I've seen some people complaining that there's a brown in this palette. I get that, but also I think that it's helpful that it's there because you could use it sort of structurally. Does it super make sense for there to be a brown shadow in this monochromatic yellow palette? Actually, no. Thinking back to the other monochromatic palettes from ColourPop, they don't really deviate from the color range of the palette. So why with the yellow one is there like a brown and a bronze right on top of it? Those colors are not yellow. Stinger and Buzzkill are both sort of shades that are too close to my skin tone for me to actually get any use out of. It's a little too banana puddingy for me to actually have some fun with. Palooza and Dandy are both golds. I don't particularly like pressed glitters, so I don't think I would use Palooza too often. I think Dandy is quite lovely, but you know, it's just a gold. I think Queen Bee is beautiful, but it's also not yellow. Like even in the swatch, it is very clearly a standard bronze eyeshadow, like it's not yellow. What a smart move it was for ColourPop to post these swatches on a darker skinned person, because that's always a question I have whenever I see people ranting and raving and praising yellow eyeshadow. It's like, does this only work for you because you're fair skinned? 9 times out of 10, yup. The actual 2 matte, wow, saying that's hilarious, right? The actual 2 matte yellows in this palette are Sweet Spot and Oh Behave. Oh Behave is kind of like your perfect canary yellow, whereas Sweet Spot is a little bit more pastel. I don't like pastel yellow, just as a color aesthetically. Then we have Totally Buggin'. This is gonna be your standard sort of creamy orangey yellow Kraft mac and cheese color. I just aesthetically hate this color. Taking all those things into consideration, I realized that the things that were really drawing me to this ColourPop palette were that bronze shade, Queen Bee, because it's just objectively very pretty, but I have bronze eyeshadow on bronze eyeshadow in my collection already. And the packaging. I really think the packaging is a huge selling point for it. It's cute and it looks good, but is that actually going to benefit your collection? For me, the answer was no. Now, having said all that, there is a fair bit of overlap between the Midas Cosmetics Lemonade and the ColourPop Honey. It shares a bronze shade, it shares a yellow gold, and a brown, and a mac and cheese color, but it still has that little quadrant of like really nice looking yellow shadows. One of the benefits of buying the Midas Cosmetics palette is that you are supporting a woman of color owned indie brand. I think within the month of June, Midas Cosmetics is donating some sort of amount of money to the Trevor Project. I'm not an affiliate of Midas, so I don't have to know that. So me completely stumbling over that factoid is not being a bad influencer because they're not paying me. Now June is over in like 3 days, but like, you know, it's still an aspect. So yes, that's the decision. Betwixt the ColourPop Honey palette and the Midas Cosmetics Lemonade palette, in my opinion, which means almost nothing, the victor is the Lemonade palette. Also, if you do choose to buy the Lemonade palette or any other palette from Midas Cosmetics, I would suggest using code SMOKYGLOW for money off your order. You might think it's like super noble and kind of me to suggest you use my friend's code, but it's not, for 2 reasons. 1, I don't have a code with Midas Cosmetics to recommend you to use, and 2, if I get enough people to use Hannah's code, she might give me some of her merch for free. And I love not paying for things. What are other things I should talk about? The fact that e.l.f. is releasing this new Jelly Pop collection, and somewhere my goblin lizard brain is like,
ooh, squishy, shiny, glossy, we need it.
I actually had to calm myself down. I saw this image earlier today at work and I was just like, and then I was like, okay, Nisa, actually read the caption. Like, what are these products? Do you actually want any of them? And then I saw some of them were lip glosses and I was like, oh, God. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, we want some of these. You know what I need to release? I need to release some money out of my checking account and just buy a goddamn ring light. This is... Anyway, I would like to round out and finish up today's foray into complaining by talking about a semi-recent launch from Benefit, which is this. This is the Like a Flock Star eye, lip, and cheek palette from Benefit. This ugly. Listen, okay, Benefit, I'm sorry, I've been nice as hell this whole episode. It's time to stop. It is time to stop releasing things that would have made sense at icing in 2006.
What's happening here?
I've purchased an eye, lip, and cheek palette, but I did it in 2012 like the rest of us. I'm not complaining about the fact that their lip color is right next to eye and cheek colors because there's an acrylic piece that slides in to protect the lip colors from getting dirty, which I hate that you have to slide it in. That's so goofy. Here's something I would like. If you, like me, have ever owned an eye, lip, and cheek palette that has a separate section for lip products, like a couple little pans of lipstick, whether they're separated by something or they are freely available to get dirtied up by eyeshadows and cheek products in the palette, I would like you to comment if you actually ever used the lip products in it with any sense of regularity in your life at all. I don't mean like when you were 11 and your Aunt Mary gave it to you at Hanukkah. I mean specifically like as a part of your daily routine whenever you reached the age where you were wearing makeup every day or most days. Did you ever, rather than picking up a regular lipstick or lip gloss, think, oh yeah, I'm gonna pull out my 250 color NYX palette, slide these three things out of the way, get some brush, dip it in this gloopy pan of red wax, and put it on my lips. I'm ready to go see Madagascar 2. Like, did you ever do that? Because I didn't. How does Benefit decide which of the same 4 blushes to put into every single one of these palettes? Dandelion is in every single thing Benefit ever releases. It's pretty, but like, all of them Benefit? She need to be everywhere? Why? The split bronzer pan, the Hoola and the Hoola Light. I guess you could excuse the size. Not everybody uses a big brush for bronzer. Why not do like 2 versions of the palette? Maybe like a dark one and a light one, or not do it at all. But that might be the best option, is to just not do it. Wish we could have got one for medium or deep skin. Someone commented back in all caps, never! I don't know if that's someone like commiserating with them or a racist. Benefit likes to release things no one asked for, which I appreciate the ingenuity of that and the subversiveness of never coming out with anything anyone wants, or when you do it, coming out with it 7 years after the fact, like the deeper shades of the Hoola bronzer. Teehee. I don't know, it's weird because Benefit will do some things really ridiculously well and everything else will just be a confusing hobgoblin product that no one wants. But their brow products I've heard are absolutely stellar. Kind of like a broke clock being right 2 times a day. Benefit's whole thing reminds me a lot of my grandmother's, who just sort of tell me the same story over and over again without remembering that I've already heard it. And for that I have a dramatization.
Becky, come here. I'd like to tell you a story about how I was in the old days and how I used my feminine wiles to get my brand off the ground.
Grandma, I don't want to hear any more stories. I got homework to do.
Oh, come on, Brenda, come in. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Come on, sit on my lap. I'll tell you the story.
Grandma, I'm 25. I don't want to sit on your lap.
Have I ever told you the story of what the original purpose of my famous product, the Benetint, was?
Yes, Grandma, literally everybody knows this story. Just got a glimpse of myself. Listen, all of my grandmothers are dead, okay? This is me processing.
It was back in the old days of San Francisco. It was a wild town back then, Brenda. Back when men were men and women were afraid. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was approached by a friend of mine. Well, there's no gentle way to say this. Was a stripper. Now, child, don't you use that kind of language. Jesus is watching. But yes, exactly. A stripper. And she said, Bessie, my tips aren't coming in the way that they used to, and I need something to really entice people to look at these and look at this and open their wallets. Do you have anything that could help? I have here, it's called the Benetint, you understand? It gives a rosy tint to anywhere you need. And she went, do you know where she put it, Brenda? Oh, Brenda, do you know where she put the Benetint?
Her nipples?
Her nipples, exactly. She put it on her nipples and she made the best damn tip she ever made. And word spread around, and soon Benetint was on nipples from Haight-Ashbury all the way to a 2nd Street in San Francisco.
I've only been there once and I was 7 years old.
It was quite the scandal. Your grandfather didn't know what to do with it. Anyway, come closer, Brenda. I'm developing a new product for the summer. Basically what I'm gonna do is, well, I'm gonna take one of the box blushes and I'm gonna take a bronzer and I'm gonna,
put them in the same
packaging. Now, have you ever heard of anything so wild, so ridiculous?
No, I haven't, Grandma. I absolutely have not in my life. That's gonna be the video for today, guys. Wigless. Pinched my finger with my glasses. I hate having a corporeal form. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be the video for today. Thank you for watching, but before you leave, I'm gonna need you to do a quick favor for me. If you could go ahead and have an amazing day for me, that would be absolutely fragrant. If you would like to interact with me betwixt uploads, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at NisiPisa. I also have a second channel called Extra NisiPisa that I will link in the description, where I post music and covers, and a Patreon, patreon.com/NisiPisa, where I post extras videos, little baby vlogs, stream of consciousness videos every week, and other things that tickle my fancy. There's also a Discord that is very fun. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to call or text your grandparents, because I can't, because all of mine are dead. Bye, guys. Yo, why do I look exactly like Liam Kyle Sullivan's mom character from the Shoes video? Do not feed whiskey to the children, Mother Grandma. You watch your tongue or I'm taking you out of the will.